Welcome to the Broken Scale Cooking, where we're going to be doing Swedish meatballs. Here we have the mise en place, which is where we have all of our ingredients ready and prepped so that we can go and begin cooking. It is important that you make sure everything is ready. You don't want to get stuck while you're cooking trying to scramble for an ingredient because this is how recipes, well, to say it the best way I can, get messed up. Be ready, be prepared. And here we're showing you all the ingredients ready to go. Now we want to take our ingredients, which consist of the 1 pound of pork, 1 pound of ground beef. We're going to take the garlic, the allspice, the onions, the breadcrumbs, the chopped parsley, the heavy whipping cream, the eggs, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and we're going to get ready to mix. Next, we're going to want to take the mixture and we're going to want to knead it thoroughly and combine all the ingredients and incorporate them fully into the mixture. This will take a little bit of time. Just be patient, relax. Make sure you get from the bottom of the bowl and just keep kneading, roll, knead. It should become uniform and all look consistent. It's, a couple of minutes, 3 to 5, and you should have a great mixture, and you're going to make great meatballs out of this if you do it right. So next we're going to form the meatballs. You'll notice that I'm using a ice cream scoop, which is about a 2 tablespoon scoop, just to form the actual balls. And from there, I'm actually using my hands to compress and tighten and push them together a little bit, firm them up. Putting them on a baking sheet. I'm actually going to be doing two things in this video. One is going to be doing the baking part, and the other is going to be doing on a pan fry. And I'm doing this for a reason because I feel that the baking of the meatballs is much better than the pan fry, but you can do them either way, which is nice. While not the best or ideal situation, this is 350 in the oven for about 20 minutes. You're going to rotate halfway through. So I said I was going to do a pan fried on the meatballs, which I'm doing here. A little bit of olive oil in the pan, bringing it up to temperature. Want to make sure it is nice and ready to accept the actual meat. You have to have the oil to temperature to properly fry anything. Pan frying was kind of like, I didn't really like how it came out, but I wanted to bring this into the recipe because there are two ways of doing this. I do believe the baking is the best way to do it, but you can also do it this way. And here we go. The oil is hot. I'm throwing the meatballs in. Remember, you do have to have it at temperature, which is like 350 degrees. The sad part is they tend to stick a little bit. Now, I may have done this wrong. I mean, I did have oil. I did coat the bottom very well. It just took a little bit of working with them. They did actually, after the first initial uh, touch of the oil and sticking, it seemed to get a little bit better, but they didn't keep their form. That's what kind of disappointed me on this. So I do suggest use the baking method. So I did actually continue the pan frying. Wanted to show everybody how to add more oil to it. I don't think this is the best way to do it. Um, Definitely not a healthier way to do it. The baking is much better, but it can be done. And again, your choice how you want to do it. If you notice it's more work, more fuss, more muss. Meatballs from the oven. Okay, so we have a pan here that actually has the remains from pan frying the meatballs. Not necessary, but we're going to add butter, and if you didn't pan fry, it's okay. Just do the butter per the recipe. Whisk it all in, melt it down. The heat is a little bit high right now. We're going to turn that down, and now we're going to start adding in the flour and whisk everything in. We're making our roux, which is essential to making this recipe complete. Added the roux at the flour a little bit at a time. Don't push it, a little bit at a time, mix it all in, let it build up. So you've made the roux. Now you're going to add the rest of the ingredients in the second half of the recipe. This is to make the sauce. You're going to gently and carefully add those in, and then you're going to want to, under a low to medium heat, whisk everything in. Sour cream was my favorite part. That just added so much flavor. Sorry, I just had to put that in there. Again, under a low to medium heat, begin whisking everything in and make sure everything combines correctly. And you're going to have to cook this for about 5 to, I'm going to say 10 minutes, depending. It's going to reduce. You want it to reduce. That's a big part of it. But you definitely want to make sure everything mixes well and blends in well. As you can see, we're whisking away, trying to emulsify everything that we've got here. The sauce and the color is looking really good. Hopefully you have the same thing. Love to hear if you did. Didn't, we can go over what the problems were. As you can see, the sauce is thickened, looks beautiful. You have a little simmer to it right now, which is great. And you're going to want to add the meatballs into the sauce. Uh, One thing while this is cooking is to make sure that you are stirring. Don't let anything stick to the bottom. Sauce, meatballs, what have you. Just keep stirring, turning over, and it's going to be really great. And make sure you coat the meatballs well. As you can tell by the video, the sauce is darkened up. The meatballs are really coated, and it looks great. One of the things with myself when I do Swedish meatballs, I take the meatballs out of the sauce. I love to keep the sauce as, part of it, and I put it to the side or reserve it, as they say. And you'll see in this video, like you see what I'm doing here, I'm pulling the meatballs out. I'm actually spooning up a little sauce because I'm actually plating this for somebody right now, but um, great way to present them, and I'm going to show you that next. So one of the simplest forms is Swedish meatballs over mashed potatoes. And these are our homemade mashed potatoes, which is in our recipes. Um, Check it out, try it, let me know what you think. Enjoy.